Hi there. Welcome to your class on working with plant spirits using essential oils. My name is Rebecca. I am your instructor and the author of the course. I'm not going to bore you with a long introduction. I'm just going to include a PDF with that if that interests you, and as well as my educational background and things like that. Um, Plant spirit work has been really important in my life. I've been doing it literally my entire life. Growing up working with the spirits of plants, which I didn't recognize that that's what it was, really gave me strength. They became my best friends, as dorky as that sounds. I would talk to plants, they were my best friends. Also, as my family was not able to support me in the ways that I needed to be supported, the plants, in many cases, became my family. And, is it really a surprise that I grew up to be an herbalist? I mean, come on. So I'm really excited to share this with you. I have found that I've just seen some incredible improvements with some of my clients and my students starting to work with plant spirit and herbal traditions and starting to work with plants. And it just seems to me that our country has an incredible sickness here in America, and that sickness is based on disconnect. We're not connected to ourselves. We're not connected to each other. We're not connected to the earth or the other elements. And so we make horrible decisions and we have horrible urges that make a mess. And the rest of the world bends to the mercy of a lot of the corporations here in the United States and a lot of the politics here, which manifest that sickness all over the planet. So, in my mind, one of the best ways to heal this issue is to help people reconnect to themselves and reconnect to the earth and to the planet, to the elements. And that's what this course aims to do. I recognize that a lot of people don't grow up in the woods like I did. So, adjusting these teachings to the urban environment is a little bit of a challenge. One of the ways that you can do that is through the use of essential oils. And now that they have gone so mainstream, it's a really good way to do this. So that is what this course is on. I want to be very clear about a few things. This course is on plant spirit work. It is non-herbalism. That is strictly the medicinal use of plants. It is non-sacred plant medicine. Sacred plant medicine specifically refers to generally hallucinogenic or poisonous plants that have a ceremony or a spiritual or religious structure around them and tradition. Plant spirit work kind of comes in between these two. Okay, you have herbalism, which is just medicine. You have sacred plant medicine, which is, a priestly tradition in many cases, or a shamanic tradition. This kind of falls in the middle. This is where we're working with the spirit and the energy of the plant. We're not so much working with the components of it for medicine. We're not poisoning ourselves or involving a ceremony or doing anything like that. This is sort of making a connection between us and the plant, and then doing something that I call path working in my tradition. That's kind of connecting yourself to where the plant is and then literally running back and down the path. If you're in the woods for the first time and you're walking in the woods and no one has ever walked there before, it's going to be very difficult. There's going to be a lot of undergrowth, there's going to be a lot of things to push through. But if you start walking back and forth in one space, you will start to wear a path there. And the next thing you know, you're running down that path with friends and family and who knows what. So what we're really doing in this class is making that connection for you, showing you how to do that path working, connecting you to the way the plant works within yourself, and connecting you with that plant. Actually, how much you do this will decide how much of that path working gets done. How easy it is for you to access that plant. If you get good at this, you will find that, for those of you who are energy healers and things like that, the plant will enter the room and work on the person that you're working on with you, even if you don't have the physical plant parts in the room with you. You will start to be able to connect to that plant, call it, and it will come and help you. And sometimes even ask you for a little bit of help in different ways. So it's a very powerful practice. I'm really excited that you're interested in taking it. There are a few things I wanted to let you know about this course. First, the course is composed of, there's first a PDF and then there's a recording. I really encourage you to read the whole PDF before you listen to the recording. The PDF is composed of an introduction to the plant itself, an introduction to the oil itself. This is a way for some of my students who've been asking for information on oils and getting more into oils. This is part of how you're going to learn that. So you're introduced to the plant and the oil and things you need to know about the oil and the plant itself. And then there are rather questions for introspection and journaling. I really encourage you to actually do the journaling. I actually encourage you to journal twice. Once when you're looking at these questions and you're thinking out the questions, and again after you're done with the meditation and the affirmations, I encourage you to journal again. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but check out the PDF for the introduction here, and it will link you to several studies that show you how important journaling actually is. If you normally don't know what to write about when you journal, so you haven't, that's what the questions are for. That's what you're writing about. And if you find that you have trouble remembering to do it every day or something like that, don't beat yourself up. The more you do this, the easier it will be to do this. The more this becomes a habit, the easier it becomes. It really is beneficial. People often ask me how I came so far in my personal health journey in such a short amount of time. And the answer is really simple. First off, my health had collapsed. So I was spending 8 to 10 hours a day doing nothing but my self-healing work, doing nothing but meditation, nothing but journaling. So the time you put into this does matter. Second off, I actually was doing the work. I was actually doing the journaling. And journaling was a huge part of my self-healing work. Which if you're interested in reading that, rather than boring you with the details, it is on my website in detail, so I'll give you the link for that too. So you have introductions, the questions, then you have the meditation, which you can read before you actually do, and then you have the affirmations. Now, a word on the meditations and the affirmations. Meditation proper is really when you're staying in one place and you're manipulating your consciousness, generally in your body or the space around you or something like that. Journeying is different. It's when your consciousness goes somewhere, and one can kind of lead to the other. What we're going to be doing in this course is what we call in the Celtic shamanic tradition, we call it meditative style journeying. And what that means is you're not doing those crazy drum and dance and ritual possession stuff that some shamans call journeying, which it is, or again with the sacred plant medicine, that kind of journeying that includes a substance. This is meditative style. So you're going to be sitting, quieting yourself. If you do better when you move, feel free to move. But what you're doing is you're becoming aware of yourself. You're becoming aware of the plant, you're making the connection, and you're moving. Some of this is also done through some guided visualization work. What I encourage you to do, if you're confused about like what's real and what's in my imagination, one kind of leads to the other. So if you're not sure if you can connect to it and make it real, start visualizing. You're allowed to imagine a little bit. Dreaming is a form of journey work in many cases. So allow yourself to imagine it. At some point, you're going to feel it kind of carry you. Or all of a sudden, something's going to happen, and you'll be like, I know I didn't imagine that. Allow yourself to ease into it as you will. Now, I was actually, when I first wrote this class, I was intending to play music and to actually play the drum to help you journey. But I found that people who are not used to those things can sometimes be kind of jarred by that, and it's very disturbing for them, so I decided not to do that. I also realized that different music helps different people, and some people, such as myself, actually prefer silence. So if you enjoy some sort of music that helps you meditate, I deliberately left all of the sound out in these recordings so that you can play that on a different device, whatever works for you, so that these can be very personal to you. Okay? So feel free to do that as well. Two last things. I wanted to show you how to actually use the oils. We talk about different ways to use the oils in the class. I just wanted to show you what that looks like. This is a cut oil, so I'm going to use a little bit of it rather than just 1 or 2 drops. Also, my dauber is a little bit jammed on this one. So, you get your oil, you're going to rub it like this. You're going to take 3 deep breaths to expand your energy field, your aura, and also to get that energy, the energy of the plant and oil in your system. It's going to look like this. Now, if you exhale in a different way, open your mouth more and kind of, that's fine too. That'll help you relax. When you purse your lips like I did, you actually open tissue in your lungs to take in more of the plant spirit, also more oxygen. You actually get more oxygen that way. So if you're ever having trouble getting enough air, that's a good way to take a few deep breaths and exhale in that way, and you'll get more oxygen. Now, what I just did there will expand your field. It'll knock out little things in your field, just bam, gone, that are kind of stuck on there from other people or whatever through the day. Some of the points we talk about, I talk about points on your face. Those are primarily the ones I'm speaking of. Right above your eyebrows. If I look dead at you, it's right above the middle of my eyes. It's also, you'll see like the arc of your eyebrows kind of hits the same place. So ones I'm talking about are right here. And they are just above either that arc of the eyebrows or the center of your eye. I actually like to call these the oh my god points. And the reason is, if you can't handle your life anymore, and you're going, oh my god, no matter how you do this, your middle fingers end up in that exact point. Oh my god, you're right there. And actually, this has been studied. If you close your eyes and cover your eyes with your hands and hold those points, I believe it was a minute of that was about as relaxing to your nervous system as a 10-minute nap, was one of the studies I was looking at. Don't quote me on that. You might have to look that up. But that's actually a really good way just to handle your life if you're having a lot of anxiety or a lot of overwhelm. Holding that point, covering your eyes. The darkness is part of it, so do close your eyes and cover your eyes when you're doing that. Other points I talk about, your temples, your wrists. Now, the point that we're actually trying to get to on your wrist is actually about right here on your wrist. But there are other points on your wrist that are also good. So if you're going to use your wrist, just put it on your wrist. You're fine. If you're working with your lower body, your root or second chakra, one of the points you could use, if you put your thumb against your hand and you get this lump here, right where the top of the lump is, there's a point right there. And that actually takes you to your intestines. And that helps get to the lower part of your body. So that is another good point for you. Lastly, there are times I mentioned your throat. You just throw it on your throat. You're fine. Lastly, the thymus. I'm not going to get too exciting here, but it's about right where my gnome is. This is my antler gnome. But it's about right here. If you want extra credit that day, that helps open your heart, that helps open your lungs, yada yada. If you want extra credit that day, you're having a little bit of trouble, you can also use your points right here. Men and women alike, it is right in line with your nipples. That will open your chest as well. The last thing I wanted to mention to you, so that's about what you need to know about the oils. Also, please do read the introductory PDF. I talk about getting safe oils. Oils are very powerful. They're very potent. In some countries, they're used as medicine rather than healthcare or spa usage like we use them in the United States. So please do read the PDF. It's very important that you don't poison yourself during this class. It really matters to me that you are safe in this class, so please read the PDF. The last thing I wanted to mention was the use of affirmations. Would you use affirmations in this class? It's come to my attention that a lot of people don't understand how to use affirmations. There's this pop culture idea that if you post an affirmation and you say it over that you don't believe over and over and over, it will eventually you'll believe it. Let me tell you what you're doing with that. Okay, you have all sorts of layers of your energy. You have your physical self, which has layers, your emotional self that has layers, your mental self that has layers, you have your spiritual self, which has tons of layers. Here's what you're doing when you do that. We have a word for when you say something over and over until you believe it. That word is brainwashing, okay? So if you have all of your spiritual self and your mental self right here, and you're doing that, what you're doing is you're knocking your mental self kind of out of line. You're kind of readjusting your mental self, but you're not adjusting the rest of you. So you create an imbalance which creates illness. You want all things to be balanced. So when you're using the affirmations, use those after you're done meditating, when your field is all crazy out here. Read them first. You've read your PDF first before you did the meditation, right? So you know you mentally agree with them. You're not going to say anything you don't intellectually agree with. Your field's out here. Then you state those affirmations, and you notice changes in your field. When you realize resistance or a sense of something doesn't feel right or I just went wonky, you know you don't actually believe that affirmation. That way, you use the affirmations as a way to point out where healing needs to happen. What is it that you do and do not really believe? This is a way to access your consciousness to see what needs healed. Then, when you know that you actually believe the affirmation, then you can use it to affirm reality. Using an affirmation to affirm something, not create something, affirm something. That's when you can start saying it all the time, and it will just deepen that programming into your system without creating that crazy imbalance. Okay? So, I think that's about all you need to know. I am really happy that you were willing to take the course. There are 3 of these. If you enjoy them, I'd love to hear from you. My email is embodyhealing@gmail.com. If you enjoy them, please share them. You know, I made these to really help people. So trying to get them out there. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the class, and I guess I'll see you next time.